Welcome to Elections Committee meeting of February the 3rd, 2022. We have one item on the agenda today, and there's a little bit of information after that. And we will start with bill introductions. If there is anyone who has bill introductions they would like to present to the committee, we'll consider that. Thank you for your attendance online. Is there anyone? No one in the committee room here is responding. Is anyone online? One more time. Is there any bill introductions? This is the last day for exempt committees, non-exempt. And not hearing any, we will move on to just an announcement of next week's agenda as it's stated right now. Tuesday, February the 8th, meeting at 3:30 will be the presentation by the Secretary of State's office. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Representative Howell.
Yes, sorry. I was just confused because I thought the calendar said that we had until Monday to submit bills. Can you explain this to me? Because apparently maybe a freshman error here or misunderstanding.
If Mr. Hine, if you would
sure.
explain this, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The deadline for requesting is one deadline, and the deadline for actually submitting the bill after its request is another. So today, I believe, is the deadline for non-exempt committees. I believe we have until next Wednesday, if I'm correct, to turn those bills in. The individual bill deadline was a week ago, Monday, to request it, and the turn-in, I believe, is Monday. I believe that's correct. Do you understand the distinction between requesting and actually turning in?
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this. So the deadline for requesting a bill was last Monday by your...
No.
Individual bills. If
Okay.
your name is going to be on a bill, then it was last.
No.
Representative Miller.
Representative Howell, the deadline for requesting a bill from a non-exempt committee, which is elections is a non-exempt committee. The deadline for requesting a bill from this committee is Monday. However, we do not meet on Monday, so the practical application of the rule is today is not the legal deadline, but the practical deadline. So if you have an RS number and a bill that you'd like this committee to introduce, you need to do that now, because we will not be meeting on Monday. If you're in another committee on Monday and they're asking that committee to introduce a bill, Monday is the deadline. I hope that was clear.
That does help me. Thank you.
I apologize for the confusion. Today is the last day for this committee.
Okay.
Right. And Mr. Hine, then if she has an opportunity to introduce it into another committee, then that would be passed to this one. Is that a proper mode of operation?
Generally, election bills come to your committee. Sometimes some of them are going to go to federal and state affairs this year. If you miss all the deadlines, there are exempt committees from deadlines, and federal and state is one of them. So you can always go to that committee to request a bill.
All right. Yes, Representative Miller.
And again, if you want to introduce a bill yourself, not as a committee bill, that deadline, I think, is next Wednesday. So only if you want a committee bill through a non-exempt committee is Monday the deadline. After that, you can still introduce it up until Wednesday in your own name, and after that, you can always ask an exempt committee to introduce it as a committee bill. And just as a point of note, the chairman of the Fed and State Committee has allowed the introduction of bills this year for elections, and in fact, at least one of them has been referred to Fed and State because we're having a hearing on an elections bill next week.
Is that clear? Okay. And thank you, two gentlemen, for your explanation, and thank you, Representative Howell. And if there's no further discussion on introduction of bills, I'll move on and finish the announcements for next week's meetings. As I said, Tuesday, February the 8th will be presentation by the Secretary of State's office over general Kansas election overview. And Thursday, February the 10th, will be hearing on HB 2486 and HB 2555. HB 2486 being the providing for the use of electronic poll books in elections and approval of such books by the Secretary of State, making fraudulent use of electronic poll books crime, and et cetera. And you can read further forward. And HB 2555 requiring a county election officer to send confirmation of address when there is no election-related activity for any 4 calendar year period. So those will be the two to be considered. If you have testimony that you want to give either for or against or neutral, you might consider that. Is there any other announcements for the committee, either from online or here in the room? All right. Not seeing any. This meeting is adjourned. See you next week.